yeah, it's just about pushing what you're doing, because you could be the best DJ or you could be the best producer, but if you don't get out there and communicate and speak about what you're doing and the music that you're making, no one's going to know.
So on my YouTube channel, I have a series called 5 Things Producers Need to Know. This is 5 things you might tell your younger self.
Yeah.
Got some. What are yours?
Number one would be to live and eat what you want to be. So if you want to be a DJ or a record collector or anything like that, you need to go and do it. So if you want to be a DJ, you need to be a train spotter to the music. You need to like all the music. You need to learn about the music. You need to learn about how long a track is. You need to learn about when a breakdown is, so when you need to mix it. You need to go to the club early. You need to go and meet all the other DJs. You need to meet the promoter. All of these things are important, because you can't just sit in your bedroom and download some tunes on Beatport and then expect to go and DJ in front of loads of people. You have to do everything that goes along with it. That's really important. And same as a producer, same as an engineer, you need to like spend predominantly all your hours doing what you're doing. And then in 10 years' time, you might hope to achieve something.
Okay, cool. Number 2.
Number 2 is be able to nurture the relationships that you have in the industry. It's really important to build friendships, because those friendships will make you a better person within your industry. I don't know if that makes sense or not.
Yeah, 100%. I think networking in this industry is such a big thing. Like, you think it's a massive industry, but it's really quite small. The amount of people, and nurturing that network is definitely so key, massively.
It's just about pushing what you're doing, because you could be the best DJ or you could be the best producer, but if you don't get out there and communicate and speak about what you're doing and the music that you're making, no one's going to know.
And I guess that goes back to the being in the club. You're doing that in the clubs, and you're networking in the clubs and conferences. I guess.
I mean, I think what I said, number 1, it kind of, there is 5 things in there. You know, it's really important to live that, to fully immerse yourself in what you want to be. Whether you want to be a promoter, if you want to be a promoter, you should really, really look at all the other promoters in your city and put your party on, you know? And again, like, I guess it's another point is about being homegrown. It's about trying to do things yourself and not relying on other people, or like relying on a label or relying on other things. It's really important just to some days just to write a song and put it out there. I might even do that next week. After this conversation, I might do a bootleg and send it to a bunch of my friends and see if anyone likes it. I never know. You know, it's really important sometimes just to like put your music out there and see if people like it. What was I going to say? What was my other point that I was going to say? You've got to give me a minute. Maybe ask. That's all right. Maybe ask me a question. I don't know. Has anyone's got a question?
How do you make your drums up and get them sounding so polished?
First thing is using a good drum machine or using good samples. If you know about drums and you know about drum samples, that's really important. So if you guys use Splice, you need to know what drum. Like, I mentioned a few drum kits like a 707, 808, 909. They're the original Roland drum kits, which most house music was made from. So what you got to do is you got to go and find those samples. If you're lucky enough to find a machine, spend a day in the studio and just record loads of drums. And then you have them in your sample library. Another thing is just compress them really well. It's a good compression. It's great. I use a drum compressor. It's a plugin by Plugin Alliance, and it's called the Black Box. And I put that on a drum box, and it just smashes it. If you listen to all my drums, they're always smashed drum bus, black box compressor. There you go. Nice.
The next question was actually any plugins you've been using a lot recently. So that's answered that a little bit.
Yeah, and Shaper Box. There's a plugin called the Shaper Box, which I'm really into because you can get really, really interesting grooves. Can't remember who makes it, but it's called Shaper Box, and there's 2 or 3 versions of it. Plugin Alliance are really good.
Cable Guys?
Yeah, Cable Guys, exactly. Who else? What else? I've got a Juno 6 chorus plugin, which is TL something. And that's free to download. So if you want to make them old acid Chicago bass lines and you want to get the 2 chorus buttons that you get on a Juno 6, you download this free plugin. It's called TL60 or something, but it's free to download. Definitely get that. What else was I thinking about plugin wise? There's so many. Recently got one called Chords, and I believe Sample Magic make it, and it's got all samples in it, but it's stacked in chords, and they've done a standalone plugin and an audio unit. So it's called Chords, and it's with a K. So there you go. All right, that's a couple anyway.
That's cool. What other ones is there? Do you have any big tips for cutting through the noise and getting noticed in the industry?
Just got to keep going, even when no one is listening. Like now, no one's listening. You've just got to carry on going, and then someone's going to connect. Like for me, I gave that song to B Traits, and she sat on it for 14 months, and then all of a sudden, I thought that song was dead. That was my biggest song, right? No one listened to it. And then all of a sudden, B Traits on Pete Chong's 11 o'clock on 12 o'clock on Friday night. Everyone knew about my song. So just don't give up. That's my biggest advice. Don't give up.
Watch this video next for more tips for DJs and producers, and consider subscribing so you get these videos first. I have been Graham Farmer, and thanks for tuning in this week. See you next week. Bye-bye.